Hello and welcome to GLG101 Online. Welcome to the class. My name is Noah Fay, the instructor for the class. You can see a picture of me on the right-hand side here. In this video, I'm going to be going over kind of the nuts and bolts of the class. What we do, when we do it, when things are due, that sort of thing. All this is written down here, but I thought this video would be nice to hear my voice and have me explain it sort of in person. And so here we are at the homepage of the course. You made it this far, which is good. And so on the right-hand side is a little bit about me. As I mentioned, there's a picture of me. I here am at what's called the Great Unconformity. It is one of the most important geologic features in the world. It's found in a few places, especially in the Grand Canyon. And so if you're interested in learning just a little bit more about that, you can check out this video I made about the Great Unconformity and then come back here. So on the left-hand side of the screen, taking up this 2/3 part of the screen or so, is the announcements area of the course. This is probably the most important place for you to check for information about the course. This is how I will communicate with the class with regards to important upcoming events, with regards to feedback about assignments, etc. Occasionally, only really if necessary, if something urgent comes up, I will email the entire class. And so in general, you need to regularly check the announcements part of the class to see if there's anything new that I need to communicate with you. Check it at least once a day. And so in the announcement section here is this welcome message and an explanation of how to start and how to be successful in this class. So let's take a look at that in a little bit more detail here. So first thing I want to show you is the class schedule. So if I click this link, up pops a new page with our class schedule, and there it is. It is shown in a nice organized sort of spreadsheet fashion. And so let me just walk you through this quickly as to what is here. The first column shows the module number. This class is broken up into a number of pieces referred to as modules. And there are 16 modules for 16 weeks in the semester. Each module has a start date when you first can access the material for that module, and each one has an end date, aka a due date, when everything in the module needs to be done. The next column tells us the topic, what we're going to be working on that particular week. The next two columns provide you access to the 2 free online textbooks that we'll use. We'll primarily use this one, but there are a few cases where this one doesn't have the material that we'll need, for example here, and so we'll refer back to this textbook. They're both free, they're both available from anywhere, and they're both pretty good. The next 4 columns here show the stuff that you need to do in each module. Every module contains a short quiz. Most modules contain an assignment. Most modules contain an online discussion. And 3 modules contain an exam. There are 3 exams throughout the semester. The last 2 columns are related to field trips. I'll discuss field trips in more detail here in a second. This column here shows when there are instructor-led field trips, meaning when there are field trips around Tucson that I will lead. And then the last column explains some special field trips opportunities this semester. The first one that I'm aware of as of now is that mid-April we have tentatively scheduled a trip to the Grand Canyon. More details on that coming later. So this is our course schedule. You should be referring back to this regularly to keep on top of what we're doing, when stuff is due, etc. Let's go back to the course homepage and this welcome message. So let's talk about how the class is organized and the sort of things that you'll do. So as I mentioned, each class is broken into a module. You'll have a week to do each module. Each one is going to contain a number of readings from these free online textbooks and short videos. Some that I've produced, some that my geology colleagues have produced, some that were made by some organizations intended to be used by classes like this, etc. Those provide, the readings and the videos provide the content, the lecture part, so to speak. If you think of a traditional course, the readings and videos sort of serve that purpose for this online course. Each module contains a short quiz. They usually have about 10 questions. They're not necessarily meant to be hard. However, if you haven't done any of the other stuff, for example, readings or assignments, the quizzes might appear to be hard. Most modules contain an assignment. Some of these you'll be able to do digitally and turn in digitally. Some of them you may have to print out, complete by hand, scan, and submit those. Some of the module assignments involve hands-on analysis of minerals and rock samples. The details of how and where to get those are given in the required material page. I'll show you that where that is here in a second. But you can also access these rock and mineral kits at Pima Community College campuses, or at least some of them. So if you're nearby and don't want to purchase the thing, you can access them for free at some of our campuses. Most modules also contain an online discussion. This is where you and I and your classmates will engage with one another on sort of geology-related topics. There are 3 exams throughout the course at approximately week 6, week 11, and then one at the end of the semester. And the course schedule shows when those occur. And again, field trips. Geology is a field-based science, meaning you can't do it entirely indoors. You have to get outside and see rocks and see other geologic features as they naturally appear outside. And so 2 field trips are required for the course. I provide a number of mechanisms for you to complete that requirement. You can go on field trips with me, or you can do field trips entirely on your own. We give you a bunch of tools in order to successfully complete a self-guided field trip. Details on all of that are given in the field trips page, and more details, especially on the self-guided ones, come later in the course in Module 13 and 14 assignment instructions. The course starts on a Thursday, and each module is broken in, it lasts a week, and so the material for each module opens on Thursday morning and closes on the following Wednesday night. In other words, everything is due on Wednesday night. So today, the start of the course is a Thursday. Module 1 excuse me, is available. You can access it now, and then everything is due by the following Wednesday night at 11:59 p.m. Textbooks, etc. I mentioned there are a couple of free online books. I provide links to those in the required materials page and in the course calendar. And as I mentioned, there is a rock and mineral kit, a couple of parts to that you need to have access to. Either you purchase and have at home, or you can use them at PCC campuses. All right, so what should you do now? So if this is your first online course, or even if it's not, it's a good refresher to remind yourself what it means to take an online course, how to be successful in that course, how to navigate D2L. All that sort of useful information is provided into an online learning course, which is in D2L. I highly recommend you at least go take a look at that to remind yourself of those important skills, how to navigate D2L, that sort of thing. Once you're ready, then you can sort of start diving into the material for this course, the Module 1 material. So what we're going to do now is go take a look at where to find the material for the course. So it's in what we call the content area. And so I'm going to scroll up to the top of the page here. And up on top, there are a bunch of tabs, a bunch of links up here. Help is what it sounds like. Course resources, hiding in the assessments tab are where you access things related to assignments, discussions, the gradebook, quizzes. And if you click the content tab, it takes you to the area where all the content for the class is stored. On the left-hand side is a whole bunch of links. The first one, called Read Me First and Syllabus Materials, is the course syllabus. It contains a bunch of general information about the course, some important specifics such as the required materials, what books you need, the mineral and rock kits, our course calendar, again, information, more detailed information on the field trips, and many of the course and college policies. This one, for example, contains information on how the course is graded, what each component of the course is worth in terms of points, how the final grade is calculated, etc. So this is an important section for you to dive in initially, just so you understand the structure of the course, the policies associated with the course, etc. On the bottom here is another link to some of the free online resources that we'll use throughout the semester. Once you've taken a look at this course-related stuff, you should dive into Module 1. So if I click on the Module 1 link here, what I see is the Module 1 main page, a link to the Module 1 discussion, the assignment, and the quiz. So I'm going to look at the Module 1 main page. It is what it sounds like. It contains more or less all of the stuff for Module 1. It's kind of one-stop shopping for what to do for each module. And so they generally look like this. There's usually an image or of some kind, some introductory text, some other associated images. The module objectives, these are the learning objectives. These are the things that you should be able to do successfully by the end of when you complete this module. And then we get into the meat and potatoes of the thing. Here are the links to the important relevant things to read. For example, here's a link to Chapter 8 from one of the free online textbooks. Here's a link to a number of videos. Some of the videos that we use in the class are produced by myself, some by my geology colleagues who also teach this class, and some by outside organizations who produce videos for this very purpose. Here's some optional resources. You can take a bit deeper dive into this stuff if you like. Here's a discussion and instructions on the class discussion, the assignment, and the quiz. All right, so let's go back up to the course homepage. If I click this thing on the top, it'll take me to the course homepage. And here we are. Here's this welcome announcement. And let me scroll back down to the bottom. We just talked about the orientation online learning, and we just took a look at the content area, which contained the syllabus, and then the Module 1 main page. All right, so what to do if you have questions. If you have any questions about anything related to the course, whether it be a general question about when something is due, or something about course material, the content of the course, there are two options to ask questions to me. One is if you have a general question that you think other people might benefit by seeing the answer. Something general about the course, like when is assignment 4 due? Or I don't understand this part of the assignment, or I don't understand this sort of content-related thing. Any question that you have like that, almost certainly someone else in the class has that same question, so they would really benefit from seeing the answer too. So general questions about the course, you go to this discussions area of the course, and there's a general questions discussion. Post those questions there. I'll respond as soon as I see them, and then everyone can benefit by seeing the answer. If you have a question that's specific to you, for example, a question about your grade or something that you don't feel comfortable having everyone see, that's certainly fine. The best way to get my attention is to send me an email. There's my email address. That will get to me probably sooner than a phone call would. And so that's the best way to do that. In general, though, if you have something about the course which sort of might apply to everybody, stick it in the general discussions or general questions discussion so that everyone can see the answer. All right, that is what I have for you now. I hope that's a helpful introduction to the class. And of course, if it's not, let me know. All right, good luck. Talk to you soon.